there is a gentleman who says that leprechauns are really the biggest menace to the world and not President-elect Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah?
Semi-professional paranormal investigator Johnny Turnip.
That's a good private eye name, Johnny Turnip.
He said, as a rule, he said, me and the boys ignore politics. We see it as beneath us.
Me and the boys.
He says, Johnny Turnip and the boys, that 60s rock group that's now in the paranormal. Mm-hmm. They said that they dropped out of society pretty much as soon as they were born. And much like the Asian Celts, we spend our days on top of mountains in the shadow realms battling with supernatural creatures. And so he says, there's no man born of a woman who can tell Big Tony to mind his pronouns and for telling Puerto Rico Paul where and when he can and can't smoke. Good luck with all of that. He says, we're not jumping through hoops. And he says, because the biggest threat is leprechauns.
Get us to the leprechauns. What is this?
Yeah, he says they've gone toe-to-toe with some of the fiercest otherworldly creatures this side of creation. Trump isn't the real enemy. Leprechauns are. They've been using, he says, leprechauns. Leprechauns, he says, get this, according to Johnny Turnip, and I quote, all right, there's no Illuminati for all you people out there. Hot take alert. And you can add us. Make sure your comments. I'm pretty sure Scary at 666 is going to comment on that.
Yes.
Says, Trump isn't the real enemy. Leprechauns are. They have been using world leaders and royals as puppets and distractions from their own diabolical schemes for generations, Johnny. Generations.
Yeah, and they'll kick you in the shins.
They'd be stealing your pot of gold. All the world's problems stem from the leprechauns being puppet masters for all of our elected officials.
That's a new one. This is a new one. I have not heard this. I've heard the lizards. I've heard grays walking around. I've heard all kinds of things. I've not heard leprechauns before.
I haven't either. They said basically they went on to elaborate. I can see their grubby little sausage fingers all over the U.S. election. I don't even think Trump or Kamala Harris were ever aware they were being used by these corrupt, gold-hungry, shamrock-obsessed, stovepipe-wearing, alcoholic little pygmies, says Johnny Turnip.
Wow. Holy crap. That's hostile. Settle down there.
He's going in hard on leprechauns. He says the entire election was just a circus and bread for the masses while the leprechauns were busy elsewhere fine-tuning plans that would see them turn the world into a hell you couldn't even possibly start to imagine.
We're going to leprechaun hell?
What is leprechaun hell? What does that look like? I mean, I know rainbows and Lucky Charms. That doesn't sound very hell-like to me.
Yeah, I didn't know leprechauns were nefarious. I always thought they were good things.
Well, I mean, there's the movie The Leprechaun, which I think besmirched the leprechaun.
That's Hollywood. Name. I'm talking real life leprechauns.
Man on the street leprechauns. The end of the rainbow leprechauns is what I'm talking about. He said, old Johnny Turnip and the boys said, fortunately for humanity, me and the boys saw the whole sideshow for what it was and were busy making plans of our own to save the world from the looming leprechaun apocalypse. He says that most people don't think leprechauns are real, and neither did I until a wise man told me that I'd have a hard time finding a mermaid in this day and age because the leprechauns had systematically slaughtered most of them for scales centuries ago. Now he's saying that the leprechauns killed off the mermaids.
Who's this? What's Bobby Turnip? What's his name?
Johnny Turnip.
Johnny Turnip.
We need to get him on the show.
Yeah, we really do.
He was told by someone he believed was the triple goddess to find a mermaid, make her cry, and use her tears to restore balance to the world. It slowly dawned on him towards the end of his quest that he was being manipulated by the leprechauns. They sent the triple goddess. He claimed they wanted him to find the last remaining mermaid so they could bludgeon her to death like she was little more than a piece of cod to be battered and consumed.
Yeah, so, I think he's looking for the publicity. He's trying to stand out in a crazy, crazy world, in a dirty, dirty world where men masturbate under your house.
Where dirty men are doing dirty things.
Dirty things.
dirty thing. So yeah, Johnny Turnip and the boys, thank God for them. If it wasn't for Johnny Turnip and the boys, we all be killed by a leprechaun tomorrow. Those drunken, hell-raising pygmies.
God.
By the way, if you're listening, leprechauns, I do not agree with anything Johnny Turnip and the boys have to say.
No, and if you are a leprechaun, give us a call, 707-4-MONKEY, 707-466-6539.